Hey, CDU students, welcome. This is the Gateway course to the whole MA program at the Catholic Distance University. The name of the course is the Catholic Cultural Tradition. And the reason it's a Gateway course is because it will provide you guys with an overview of the whole sweep of Catholic theology as it unfolded historically, as it was passed down from the apostles. Because that's what tradition means. The word's really important. We're actually going to be unpacking that word theologically, what tradition is. We're going to be seeing the difference between tradition with a capital T and tradition with a small t. Tradition, that's a living stream that comes from Jesus, from the apostles, and is passed down from hand to hand, person to person, generation to generation, age to age, and passes through all sorts of ups and downs, ins and outs in the course of history. We need to look at that history, and that's why this is the Gateway course. If we don't have a sense of that historical sweep, we end up misinterpreting things and not appreciating what certain things like the Second Vatican Council or people like Augustine or Aquinas, what they really meant. We don't understand great problems like the Reformation without seeing it in historical context. So that's why in an 8-week course, we're going to show you the whole flow from the end of the New Testament period right up to and through the Second Vatican Council. Now that's ambitious. I'll grant you that. It's a challenging thing to do all that in 8 weeks, and I do want you to be excited about what you're going to learn. I don't want you to be worried about, wow, how am I going to possibly remember all these names and all these isms and heresies and ideas? Don't worry. A lot of what you're going to hear you're going to learn, but you're not going to have to really give back to me in an exam. I want to tell you about the method to my madness and how I'm going to limit the material you're responsible for so you don't pull your hair out as you're listening to the lectures, but instead you're enjoying them and you're soaking up all that there is to soak up. So here's the way we're going to proceed. I'm going to tell a story, a continuous story. That's what history is. And I'm going to start through the lectures. You're also going to get that story, that connection of person to person through a book that I wrote called When the Church Was Young, Voices of the Early Fathers. I think you're going to love that book, and I think you're going to come back to it in the future time and time again, and back to this course time and time again. That's kind of the idea, that this gives you a framework and it gives you something you can refer back to in the future. But anyway, the lectures are really important, and so is that book for giving you a kind of a timeline, helping you draw connections, see relationships between things, okay? The rest of the reading you're going to do is going to be primary source material. They're going to be short little snippets from various authors that we're going to be talking about, from various councils. So that's going to be what you're going to be working on. But part of what you're going to be working on is a historical framework. And like it or not, you really have to learn a few dates and a few centuries to have a coherent, clear picture of things. So, yep, I'm going to make you learn a few dates, not that many. And I'm going to ask you to be able to tell me what century certain things happened in. There are several chronologies that accompany the lectures and accompany the reading. And from those chronologies, you're going to have to learn certain things on them and be able to remember them factually, as well as short definitions of terms, basic people, be able to identify certain people. This is going to be mainly a factual course in terms of the way in which you're going to be evaluated in your exams. You are going to do a short paper, and that paper is going to give you a chance to use primary source materials and make an argument from them, prove something from them, defend Catholic doctrine using them. So that'll be one thing you'll be doing that'll be a little bit more than factual, demonstrating some real understanding. The other time that we'll have for really unpacking the big concepts is going to be in class discussion, which is really important part of online learning. We want to create a community. It's sometimes hard to do when you're not meeting together every week in a class. So we do meet together online, and I really encourage you guys to understand how the discussion is supposed to take place and to participate early each week. One thing about the discussions is they close every night, Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. You have to contribute before that time because this is a discussion. We want everybody in the class to be able to read what you have to say, respond, etc. So if you have a tough week and you don't get it done, afterwards, if you do make a contribution, no one else is going to be able to, besides me, is going to read it because they're going to be on to the next week. So you have to contribute before the end of the week. But that contribution is meant to be a real discussion. It's meant to be interaction. It's meant to be an opportunity for you to share, wow, this was an incredible insight. I never saw this before. I really got this, or I really don't understand this, or what do you think about this? And that's something that I respond to and the other students respond to. So understand that's going to be a time for a lot of substantive give and take in the course. A lot of our learning happens right in that discussion. Okay? So just know that we have 2 written quizzes. We don't have a final exam that you have to schedule with Examine that's proctored. We don't want to get involved in that. It's a lot easier to do a quiz. I certainly trust you all. They're closed book quizzes. And I give you review sheets for those 2 quizzes. So when it comes time, you can look at those review sheets in advance, and it helps you as you're looking at my outlines to know really what to focus on trying to remember. And so when it comes down to the quizzes, it's really not going to be all that difficult in terms of the select material that I tell you get responsible for on those quizzes. And again, my point is I want you to enjoy the course. I want you to just relax and all that there is to learn in this course. So here's the way the lectures are going to work. We're doing them on video and on audio. And each week there are 2 outlines. I will break those outlines up into various lectures. Those lectures will be available through audio, MP3, and video. So I'll number them so you can keep it all intact and keep the flow. And I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be an awesome experience. Thanks so much for being part of this great gateway course to a great program, the MA program of Catholic Distance University.